I have made a new video about switching the new cement plant that I had built up this past winter. And as long as I'm doing that, we'll also do a little switching at the new team track that's adjacent to the intermodal yard. You may have seen a video of the new cement plant. I've got two spots at the cement plant, both a hopper car spot and also a boxcar spot. We will use the old SD40-2 for this switching operation. And we've got a cut of cars on track number 2 in the yard. There was the box car, and there is the hopper car that's going out to the cement plant. And while we're at it, there you see the bulkhead flat car with a load of pipes that's going to the team track that is directly adjacent. So we'll do that job at the same time. We've grabbed onto our SD40-2 from over at the locomotive service area. The SD40-2 was a creature of the main lines through the 80s and 90s, but having been replaced by newer locomotives in the new millennium, it is now reduced to local job work out of the yard here. So the first thing that we're actually going to do is grab onto our cut of cars there and do a little bit of reordering of them to make the local job a little bit easier. I do want the hopper car and the box car that are going out to the bar cement plant to be up at the head end. And we'll get that pipe car. There you see a green signal on the dwarf there indicating that the for doing this reorganizing in the yard, our train will have to proceed out onto one of the main lines. It's the disadvantage of having not enough space for the layout in the basement. So when drilling the yard, the equipment does have to proceed out onto the main a little bit in order to do the work. So we've cut that set of cars there in between the pipe load and that open top hopper. We're going to set that bulkhead flat with the pipes off onto yard track number 1 while we continue to reorganize our train on track 2. It's not terribly exciting. I should probably go ahead and speed up the replay on this segment because it's some simple yard work. Well, we'll go ahead and push back. We can push back. There's the covered hopper there, the Burlington Northern car that will be going out to bar cement. So we'll cut that car out and put it over by the pipe load on track 1. And obviously there's a tank car there that's in between that we need to get that out of sequence there. We'll go ahead and push that tank car back onto track number 2, and then we will have our box car and hopper car and pipe load all up at the head end where we want them for doing this job. Anyway, as I was doing this, I realized that for pushing back into bar cement, I really want the hopper car in front of the box car, because the box car will go back into bar cement first, back to its spot, and then the hopper car will be positioned by the silos. So just a little extra step here to resequence will get them in the right order. It's always a good idea when you're preparing your local train to go out and service all the industries to spend a few minutes in the yard to put the cars in the sequence that you would like them to be in. When you get out by the industries, a little time in the yard can save a lot of hassles when you're out there switching the industries. And given that we do foul some of the main line while we're working the local train, we don't want to take we want to save do things to save time in the yard rather than spend extra time out there, out near the main line where we might have some conflicts with other trains. So now I've got that hopper car, the box car, and the pipe load all in the order that I want them. We'll go back and hook on to the remainder of the cars going out on the local job. And with our local job fully assembled, we'll go ahead and head on out, passing by the Amtrak station. The old freight house of the old Santa Fe station there has been repurposed as a restaurant, which is known as Esteban's Estacion. They serve up some wonderful New Mexico cuisine. Passing Transload Logistics as we head on out. A little bit of gratuitous train watching. And after passing through a little bit of the town, we emerge from the tunnel under the new signal bridge, and we will be heading over to a switch on the layout that's called Coach. It used to go back into the old coach yard, but having built a nice staging yard, the coaches for Amtrak and also the Rocky Trains Vacation no longer occupy that spot because that's where we've built the cement plant. But as happens in the world of railroading, the old railroad point was named Coach, and it's continues to be called Coach. Even that's no longer its purpose. So we're going to pull up to that turnout there, and what we're going to do is cut off the cars that we need to drop off at Bar Cement and at the team track, and we're going to be leaving the remainder of our local train out on main track number 1 while we work these two industries. We'll go ahead and back on into that minor industrial area there, and you can see the remainder of our local job is residing there on main track number 1. And we'll just go ahead and push those cars in back towards where the Rocky Train Vacation tracks are to get them out of the way, because we will first pull the track that we have to empty. Here's where we are. Our local train, the Remnant, is sitting on main track number 1 there, which will block it, of course. So if there are any westbound trains that are coming through while we're doing that job, they won't be able to pass through. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the switch for the industry crossover. So any trains passing through the area will be switched over onto main track number 2 while we've got that other track fouled. So the SD40-2 sets the cars that we're going to be leaving off on another track, and we'll go in and grab onto the covered hopper that currently sits over by the silos. We will need to clear that track so that we can shove the 2 drops into the right spots. We'll quickly grab onto that car. And we just have to pull forward of the switch and throw it, which we do quite quickly. Through the miracle of editing, you don't see my hand reaching in to throw that switch. And backing up, we'll grab onto that box car and the covered hopper that we're leaving behind. You can see the cord from my Digitrax UT4 throttle kind of dangling there. I'm operating the camera and the and the railroad all at the same time. Now we just have to, we're going to back that boxcar in and back it to the spot where boxcars are loaded here. That boxcar actually is being loaded with bagged cement to go to Home Depot. Anyway, here you can see an intermodal train that's going to be passing through the area, and obviously it is taking that crossover there to get on to main track number 2 so that it can pass by the local while it's doing its work. And that's why I put that crossover in. And there you can see the intermodal is proceeding westbound on track 2, passing the remnants of our local train waiting on track 1, while the local crew works the bar cement plant. So we've got that boxcar spotted, and now we simply have to pull forward and leave the BN hopper there at the silo. And that will end up completing our work at the bar cement plant for today. We've got the outbound car is right up there by the head end. It's taken the crew a little bit too long to uncouple there. So we've left the covered hopper behind. We've got the open top hopper that is outbound. And now we just have to head back out. We're going to head back out to the main track number 1. There we've got that pipe load that's destined for the team track. So we'll go ahead and grab onto that really quick. Pull forward of the switch. There you can see the red dwarf signal on the right indicating that we're not lined up. Now we get a green signal there. We can back our pipe load on down to the team track. There is a load sitting on the team track now that we do have to pull out before we can drop the pipe load. We've got some kind of a big giant tank looking thing that's sitting there that is shipped from New Mexico Engineering and is heading to the Navajo Refining in Artesia, New Mexico. My new Liebherr crane is sitting there. I'm not sure if it's actually really big enough to have loaded that big tank. I'm not really sure, but I did like building that crane kit, so that was kind of fun. So we just pull that tank, the outbound tank, and put it on a separate track there, get it out of the way, drop off our pipe load, and we're just going to head on past the switch there, pick up that outbound tank headed for Artesia, New Mexico. And now our work is done on the team track. And it's a simple matter of heading back out to main track number 1. And we can back up to the remainder of our local job there. It'll take just a moment to back up and hook on there. Having done so, we can now head on out to finish our local job, which will be done off camera. I think you've seen enough switching on this video for one day. And we will head out of town and head over to the other industrial area to switch the other 5 industries on the layout. Our work in this area of the layout is done for today. Thanks very much for watching another switching video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll make some new ones in the very near future.